Hello, and welcome to another day of English 2. I'm your online facilitator, Miss Abear. As a reminder, we are working on a personal narrative unit from Common Lit, and this unit is a coming of age unit that they have put together. And Common Lit, I hope that you are loving these texts as much as I am. As another reminder, our signposts from Unit 1, you want to make sure that you're marking in the text those contrasts and contradictions, aha moments, tough questions, words from the wiser again and again, and those memory moments. Make sure that you are staying with those and continuing those as you go through your English 10 or English 2 journey. I told you I would remind you of our essential question as well as our personal narrative task before every lesson. So our essential question is, what experiences lead us from childhood into adulthood? And then our mid-unit task, writing task, is a personal narrative in which you will describe an experience that has been part of your transition out of childhood. And then when you're describing that moment, you want to consider one of the following: a loss that you experienced, a realization or difficult truth that you learned, a new responsibility that you had to take on, and or a risk that you decided to take. And we are going to continue reading Safety of Numbers today by Amy Tan. You should have finished the independent reading through page 4 the last time that we met, and you should have answered the question, what motivates the narrator to test her mother's vocabulary? Today, we're going to continue, and we're going to be on page 5, where it says whole class reading in your packet. And without further ado, we're just going to jump in. So follow along, mark your text as we read. One day, I forgot my class project and my keys at home. During 6th period, Kat rides me back to my house on her bike, and we try each window, including the one without the screen, but they are locked, all except one. We have to look up to see it. It's 2 feet high, 3 feet wide, and positioned 6 feet off the ground in the corner of my parents' bedroom. With the help of a garbage bin and a boost from Kat, I wriggle my way through the opening and land on Mom's bureau top, knocking several things over in the process. But there's no time to clean up, so I grab what I need and leave through the front door. That afternoon, there's a cop car parked in the driveway. I walk in to find my mom in the living room with 2 policemen. When she sees me, she yells, "Someone robbed our house!" One of the cops standing in our living room is Bobby Klein's dad, and he winks at me discreetly. "Ma'am," he says, putting a hand on Mom's shoulder, "nothing is missing." Yes, but..." She points to the hallway and gives him the look of exasperation she usually saves for supermarket managers and DMV reps. "I came home early. Maybe I scared them away." Through the doorway of the bedroom, I see the open window, a failed plant, a trail of soil, and a few bottles of Clinique Moisture Lock lying on their sides among the rest of the bureau top battalion. "We've searched the house and everything's fine. Maybe a wild animal came in for a little visit. That's all." "A little visit?" Mom glares at Mr. Klein as if he has extended this invitation himself. "And the missing screen on my daughter's window," she finishes. "Was that an animal too?" Now, each morning before she leaves for work, Mom checks to make sure every window and door in our house is locked. "What period is your Euro exam?" Click. "And did you finish the second draft of your Tom Stoppard essay?" Click. I sip on my orange juice and wait until she leaves. Then I go into her bedroom, unlock the tiny window, and leave it open just an inch. Seeing Mom's panic thrills me. She doesn't call the cops again, but late at night I can hear her talking to Dad about moving money between banks and getting fancy alarm systems installed. Sometimes, in the middle of chopping vegetables or writing a letter, she suddenly closes a hand over her neck to check that her gold chain is still there, or brushes a thumb against her ring finger to feel for her wedding band. One night I overhear a conversation in their bedroom. "You don't believe in spirits, do you?" she asks Dad. "There aren't any spirits," Dad replies. No follow-up questions asked. He is used to her habit of starting conversations out loud in the middle of the ones already going on inside of her head. So we're going to take a minute and stop and ask, I want you to write the answer to the questions that are in the margin. How's the mother's reaction to the robbery consistent with her personality? And also, why does the narrator crack open a window? So we're going to give you a second to write those questions, the answers to those questions down, and you may check with a partner when you finish and discuss those responses to those questions. All right, let's keep reading. Paragraph 47. I'm not evil, I swear it, but once I start, I can't stop. Kat says this is because there is something lacking in me, a form of drama that is missing from my life. It's like you live in a bad indie movie, she says, all mood, no conflict. What she means is, why don't I reason with my mother? Why don't I bring issues to light? Kat doesn't understand what it's like to deal with a parent like mine. She has 4 older brothers, and it's a rare day if her mom can call them all by their right names. Her family practices delegated discipline, which means each kid is in charge of keeping the next youngest in line. Any reasoning done by her brothers is carried out through the use of fists. All right, we're going to stop before we read the next paragraph. I want you to turn and talk with your neighbor. Do you think Kat is a positive or negative influence on the writer? Be prepared to defend your position. All right, now let's have this talk out in class. So, teachers, facilitate this in your classroom. So maybe have one side of the room positive and the other side of the room negative, and let's battle it out. Good job, and I hope you guys had fun with that. Go back to your seats, and we're going to finish reading paragraph 48 before we go into our independent reading. So again, make sure that you're keeping up with those signposts. I'm not good at math. The verbal analogies and sentence completions are easy, but the math gets me every time. X and Y are not interchangeable, Mom says. You have to assign things value. She stands behind me with a stopwatch as I drill, peering at my pencil marks and blocking the overhead light. 1 minute, 42 seconds per question, she says, doing quick division in her head. Not fast enough. After I finish a section, she checks to identify the types of problems that takes me the longest to complete. I like to watch her work for a change to see the crease between her eyebrows grow in the shape of a butt crack. All right. We're going to finish this day out with some independent practice, and we're going to answer some independent reading questions at the end of your packet. So when you finish with your independent reading, you're going to answer the questions at the end of your packet. These are questions that are aligned to the college and career readiness standards for our state. So finish reading, and I know you will see in there that it will say whole group reading, but you're going to finish the whole packet because I trust you to do that yourself. But when you get to those questions on the margins, make sure that you're answering those questions, and then when you get to the end, that you are not going to do with a partner, you're going to finish that independently, which means by yourself. All right, turn those responses into your teacher so that she can give you some feedback. And that is it for today once you finish that independent practice, and I'm sure that we will see you again tomorrow to look at some other ideas within this unit. So for now, have a great day and happy reading.